Hello, everyone. Hello. Welcome back to another episode of the Relationship Atlas podcast. My name is Atlas. I'm your host, and I am a relationship coach. And my hope today is to provide you with some really simple tips and tricks to be able to impact your relationship in the micro ways to hopefully cause a macro effect. So, as you can see in the title, we're talking about 10 tips for a happier and healthier relationship. Now, there's a lot of books on relationships, a lot of podcasts, a lot of information about how to create a positive effect or positive change in your relationship. And so, what I want to encourage you to do as you listen to this is grab a few, one, two, maybe three of them, and just put them into effect now for the next 2 weeks straight, maybe 3 weeks, or maybe a month. Once you have a good system in place for these things, add another one or replace. Pick and pull depending on the results you're experiencing in your relationship. It's really important that no matter what you hear me say or anybody else say about relationships, that we come from a critically thinking perspective. I am going to critically think about this and make it work if I feel it best for my relationship, because it is unique. It is not like everybody else's. Okay, so whenever you hear me talk about these 10 tips, take them as tips, strategies, potential practices that could, and if put into strong effect, will impact your relationship in a positive way. Let's begin. Number one, I remember this one really bothered me when I first heard it, but it really does matter. Number one, pay more attention to the small moments. This was difficult for me to start because it asked me to be present. And presence was a really difficult thing for me to accomplish or to drop into. I was very busy in my mind. I still am. I am driven. I have a lot of goals, aspirations. I have a set of things that I would like in my life. And I also have a set of experiences or emotional experiences that I would like to be in more often. So my mind is constantly in the future. It's rarely in the past. Gabby and I talk about this all the time. It's where some of our arguments live in, is she is past focused and I am future focused. And so we tend to butt into each other a bit when it comes to certain aspects of our relationship. And so what this calls for is for us to step out of our comfortable perspectives, which is past for her and future for me. And it's to pay attention to what's happening right now. So it asks us, okay, drop in for a second. Take a deep breath. And be with this moment. What's alive right now? What's happening in my relational dynamic? What are we talking about? Maybe I'm not even part of this conversation right now. What you'll notice is things like in the morning, they grab you and they hug you just for a little bit longer, or they kiss you slightly differently. Or you just had a really funny moment and it lasted for a couple of minutes and you either killed yourself laughing or maybe you didn't, but it was an enjoyable experience. Paying attention to those moments allows us to emotionally connect to them, which holds a greater weight than logically understanding that moment just happened. Logic is great. It helps us immensely. It gets things done. Emotionally, or rather we can call it emotional intelligence, is the intelligence of an emotion. Meaning, if I can drop into the present moment, I can experience an emotion in the moment, and there is so much intelligence for me in that. Meaning, I get to hold on to that moment more than I would if I was trying to experience it while thinking about something that's going to happen in a week, or I need to get done today still. Right? Paying attention to the small moments that will help you immensely create a happier relationship. Number two, focus more on your impact than your intention. I'm going to briefly describe this because I made an entire episode about it, so you can go back and listen to that specific episode. But focusing more on your impact than your intention, meaning your intention is awesome. You never intend to harm. You're always trying to do good. That's super great for you. The reality is that no matter how good your intentions are, people experience things differently than you intend them to. because you can't control other people and you cannot control their experience. So it does a conversation a disservice when we spend more time trying to get our intention across, have them understand our intention versus paying attention to how they experienced it. What was alive or is alive for them? How did it impact their experience, whether you intended to do it or not? I use the analogy of a pillow. When you walk into a room and you see a pillow and you're angry and you punch the pillow, you meant to imprint that pillow, right? When you punch it and you lift your fist up, there's an imprint on the pillow. You meant to do that. That's intention meets impact. There's no question, no curiosity, no unknown in that. But when you walk into that same room, you don't mean to impact the pillow whatsoever. You grab something from the room, you try to walk out and you slip and you trip and your hand hits the pillow. You pick your hand up and there's an imprint on the pillow. Does it do anything for the situation to say, I didn't mean to? Does it get rid of the impact of the pillow? Does it automatically disappear? No, it's still there. So our job then is to focus more on smoothing out the impact than it is trying to say, I'm so sorry, I slipped, I didn't mean to, and not actually paying any attention to the imprint left on the pillow. Number 3, I love this one. It's so simple. They're always so simple. Hug longer, kiss a little deeper. Again, similar to number 1, pay more attention to the small moments. This one is hug longer. There is so much studies done on a longer hug, the co-regulation that exists in that. Men, I'm mostly talking to you right now because I'm a man and sometimes I'm just so busy that I'm like, this hug is just taking up time in my day, or, oh my gosh, like, okay, cool, we're done. Like there's an intimacy to it, but it's not just an intimacy, it's a co-regulation. It brings you back to the present moment. It settles your system, which allows you to actually take on whatever it is you think you need to do next with more clarity. And kissing a little deeper, I mean, that's always a good time. That always leads to good things. Number 4, remind yourself often that you are a team. Let me say that one again. Remind yourself often that you are a team. It's us here we're talking about. I just coached somebody through this. There was a lot of you versus me coming up in their arguments. So I encouraged this client of mine to bring into the conversation, hey, listen, I just want you to know I'm not attacking you right now. It's you and me. We got this. I know we got this. It's just a tiff right now. But listen, let's get back to being a team. Returning to that more often, even outside of an argument, can help so much because it helps us understand that we may lose battles, but we're going to win the war. So no matter what happens here today, we're a team. I know that because you've told me it lots. I've heard you say it lots. I've told you lots. And therefore, I know this is a momentary loss. This battle didn't go the way we wanted it to. But the reality is that we're always going to end on the same side of the fight because it's you and me versus the problem. Remind yourself often that you are a team. Number 5, build a healthier relationship between you and yourself. Notice that I didn't put this number 1. And I think it's crucial because I think it's a good spot being number 5 in this list because there's so much talk about doing self-healing. And I love it. It's helped me a lot. There's no question that the self-development aspect of relationships, where I get to heal my inner child, my youth wounds, my teenager self, like all of that, returning to that helps me so much in my day-to-day with my relationship. And, not but, and there is an aspect of a relationship that helps us heal, right? This is the conversation we start to have where we say, well, it's your trauma, it's not mine to deal with. I completely disagree with that. What I agree with is that, yes, it is your trauma, but I am more on board with the phrase like, your shit's my shit. Meaning we've chosen to do this together. Again, going back to reminding yourself often that you are a team. We've chosen to do this together, meaning what comes up for you is alive for me too. It means it's you and me versus the problem. And I know that whatever past experience is coming up for you right now is really difficult to hold and sucks. and was really shitty for you back then. And you're taking it out on me right now. It's not me that you're fighting with, it's somebody else, or it's a past experience. So can we get back to being a team, which allows us to move forward in battling the other side together? But in order to do that, I need to start building a healthier relationship between me and me. I need to start addressing the things on my own, answering questions, getting curious, looking deeper into parts of me that I've never looked at before. I just had coffee with a friend and he was talking about chakras. Now, just for spiritual terms here, right? Chakras are just the layers of you as a human. And so what he did was he went into his root chakra for the first time and said, "Hey, what's up?" And he said his experience was, "Who are you? Get out of here. How did you even know we were here?" There was parts of him that weren't ready for him because he spent so long avoiding. And so what he's allowed to do now is go back into that space and come in and out because he's built a relationship with those parts of him. I'll equate this to my own experience quickly with my relationship with anger, right? We have a relationship with our emotions. How we relate to them often determines how we experience them. Same thing with our partner, right? How I relate to my partner is creating my experience. So I'm relating to my emotion of anger. For a long time, I said, my anger will never be like my father's. I will never do that. But I wasn't building a relationship with my anger. I was putting it off. I was avoiding it. I was trying to get away from it. And so what ended up happening was it came out in different ways. In fact, my anger didn't go at somebody else like I witnessed growing up. I ended up just turning it back on myself. I harmed myself in many ways. And so I had to start building a relationship with anger, meaning, hey, anger, what's up, man? Are you okay? Tell me what's going on. What's alive for you? I'm open to whatever you have to say. And just that, it was like, hey, like I want to create this healthy relationship with you. I want you to know it's safe for you to be here. Because I used to tell you it's not. And that didn't help. It was basically saying, like, get out of my house. You're not wanted. We're not friends here. And I said, no. Let's be friends. Let's talk about this. And anger said, okay. Because I welcomed the relationship. So that's just an example of how we start to build a healthier relationship between us and ourselves. Other examples are obviously having a routine, being active, eating healthy, and so on. All of those things are also important, and they do require a piece of us. So we need to contribute to that. But building a healthier relationship with ourselves often allows us to build a healthier relationship with our partner. Going back to the anger example, if I have a healthy relationship with my own anger between me and me, when my partner gets angry, I'm going to feel less bothered, frustrated, annoyed, or angry back. I'm probably going to be able to understand it because I've worked on understanding my own. Explode that onto all possible levels. And we start to learn how to better relate to our partners. It really does have an incredible impact on the health and vitality of our relationships. Okay, number 6, make weekly date night a non-negotiable. Non-negotiable. If you are not contributing time into your relationship, you are telling your relationship, you are not a priority. I have more important things to do with my life. This doesn't matter to me. Talking in a coffee today with my friends, same conversation. You know what we said to each other? We realized for the first time in our lives recently that if it's not in your schedule, it's not important to you. This actually came from my previous job, and I remember being so frustrated with it. I said, listen, it just restricts me. Feels like it closes me in, putting something on the calendar. Then what? What if something gets in the way? The reality was that when I did start to put things into my calendar, it actually helped me feel more free, and I was more likely to contribute my time and effort in there because everything else I needed to do, I scheduled around that commitment that I've made. And this one, for me and our relationship together, is a non-negotiable. We don't question this because we know what happens when we miss date night. It creates more disconnection, and we are less aligned as the week goes on. Let's say we try to do it bi-weekly. All of a sudden, we're less aligned, and now we're bothered more. Now the safety is not in question, but it's being challenged. Now our a connection is not feeling the same. And so coming from two recovering codependents, this was a difficult thing for us. So now what we've done is we said, nope, weekly date night's a non-negotiable. We do it no matter what. That has helped us immensely in just creating a more sustainable relationship together. So my challenge to you is to get in that mud, stop making it negotiable, and start making it non-negotiable. Make weekly date night a non-negotiable. My dogs are fighting in the background right now. Number 7, say thank you for as many things as possible. My girls. Come on, girls. Hey, that's enough. I know we're excited. Okay, number 7. They're excited about this podcast, guys. Number 7, say thank you for as many things as possible. Thanks for unloading the dishwasher. Thanks for cooking. Thanks for driving me to work. Thanks for picking me up from work. Thanks for getting groceries. Thanks for helping with dinner. Thanks for hugging me longer in the morning. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. An attitude of gratitude. It is annoying. I get it. It might seem too simple. It might seem ridiculous. Why? What do you mean? They just do it all the time. Why do I have to say thank you for that? Why do I need to acknowledge that? Because the more you acknowledge, the more micro moments of connection you create, the more it keeps you in the perspective of gratitude. And so when something doesn't go right or something doesn't get done, you're way less bothered by it. You don't feel the need to fight it so much because you've recognized all of the ways in which they're contributing already, and you're able to create that safe space together. Say thank you for as many things as possible. Number 8, keep growing both as individuals and as a couple. This is crucial. I think a lot of us get into a relationship and we make this agreement that we're never going to change. Who you are now is who you'll be. Who I am now is who I'll be. I like this version of you, so don't change, because I don't really know what it would mean to love a different version of you or like a different version of you. That's like dating somebody else. The reality of a relationship is that it gives us an opportunity to learn how to love a new version of our partner over and over again. That's beautiful. Such a beautiful experience, and yet we're all so worried about it. We're so scared about it because we're worried it might cause conflict and therefore the end of the relationship. But the reality is that we can give each other space to grow as individuals. Then as a couple, oh God, the sky's the limit. Sky isn't even the limit. The universe, through the stars and beyond, there isn't a limit, right? Because we've allowed space to build and grow as an individual being, all of that energy and shifts and change actually contribute new possibility into the relationship. So never stop growing. And you'll go through seasons where you will sustain a level of normalcy where growth maybe isn't really happening that much. And you're going to notice it will come to a breaking point where something needs to shift. And a lot of times people will end a relationship at that point because they're worried it's the relationship. But as long as you have made an agreement with your partner to keep growing together as an individual and a couple, then that moment will just be an opportunity for one or both of you to explore something on a personal level, which will allow that to contribute to the overall quality of the relationship. That one's huge. Keep growing as individuals and as a couple. Number 9, you're going to hate this one. Lean into conflict and lean harder into true repair. Why would I tell you to lean into conflict? Right? Conflict is a problem. Conflict is annoying. It's frustrating. It's stupid. It just feels like we just can't deal with conflict. Absolutely. Which is why I created the second part, which is lean even harder into true repair. Let's start with lean into conflict. Leaning into conflict, meaning don't shy away from it. Don't hide your truth. Don't be authentic for the sake of the relationship, inauthentic for the sake of the relationship. Don't be fake. Don't shut down. I hate, actually, let me rephrase, because I really despise some of the content out there that says, don't get stressed, don't get angry. None of that works. It's not what I'm talking about. Let me rephrase everything I just said. When I talk about leaning into conflict, I mean lean into your emotion in a safe way. Again, if you can build a healthier relationship with the emotion, it will come out in a safer way. But I never want us to get into a world where there is no fire in our relationship. because then we never actually express ourselves to the fullest truth. It's always curated in a perfectly packaged delivery, and neither of us actually get it. We don't understand each other. We don't see the depth of what's really happening. And so, can we create space for fire, for heat, and then know that no matter what, this is a battle. We either win or lose it, but we're going to win the war together, which means I'm going to lean harder into truly repairing this, meaning I'm sorry doesn't cut it. For those that love that phrase, they want to use that as a way to end the conversation. I promise you that will bite you in the ass later. True repair is beyond I'm sorry. I'm sorry is the basics of navigating conflict. And if it's a really small piece of conflict, sometimes that may actually be enough. But what I would encourage you to start doing, if this is something you either experience from your partner or something you give as a form of trying to navigate conflict, is say I'm sorry at the end. Make it the last thing that you say. Don't lean into it first. Or rather, instead of don't lean into it first, try on understanding before apologizing. Because I know there's a classic scenario where there's an argument happening out there, maybe it's right now, and your partner says, I'm sorry, and you ask them, what are you sorry for? And they jam up, right? They get conflicted. They're like, they don't know what to say. Classic example of somebody having a difficult time with this experience, right? Not incapable. They're not bad people. They're having an experience and they don't know how to navigate it for themselves internally. It's nothing to do with you. And so if you're that person, there's some curiosity I would challenge for you in there of what is that experience? What kind of relationship are you trying to build with that discomfort? Are you aware of the historical patterns that are affecting or creating that experience for you? What is your relationship to conflict? How are you improving that over time? And the discomfort that comes in conflict, maybe it's fear, maybe it's worry, maybe it's you're just a nice guy and you don't think that conflict is necessary. I would just get really curious with yourself of what does that actually mean? What do I miss out on? What parts of me never get expressed? How authentic is that for me, truly? What is my truth in those moments? If I don't feel confident saying it, then can I write it down somewhere and actually, I actually have a lot to say there, but I'm scared of saying it. Why is that? Where did that come from? How can I start to make positive change in the right direction with that? Right? And that allows us to get closer to true repair. True repair for me is a settled nervous system. That's what true repair means to me. Meaning, I don't end a conversation that's heated with my partner without asking, do you feel complete? Or is there anything else alive for you? I don't want to end a conversation where one of our nervous systems doesn't feel settled in the conversation with the information that has been shared back and forth. And you know those moments when you've been really honest, right? You've had some serious clarity and things have gone in the direction that you want them to, which is connection and alignment again. And you can feel that in your body, right? It's settled. It wants to be close, right? And then you know the moments where you kind of maybe sense that we got somewhere and we don't really feel unaligned. And yet for some reason, I don't know, something is there. Like I don't really want to be close to you, but I do, but I'm confused. And you don't really know if you've closed the conversation or not. So you just move on. That would be a lack of repair, a lack of true repair. And that ending will bite you in the ass in your next argument. Or it might just affect that night and the following days until you can come back to the conversation and actually repair it. I just coached a client on this. She left a conversation. She left a conversation. She didn't feel settled. I coached her on coming back to the conversation in a safe way so that she could share what she was experiencing. But what I encouraged her to do first was own the fact that she left that conversation without closing loops, without sharing her authentic self. That's crucial. Your partner didn't do anything to stop you from that, right? This is now speaking to you as the listener here. Your partner's not stopping you from sharing your authenticity there. and closing a loop there. So own that you chose not to do that out of your own discomfort. Now I would like to just touch on this piece that was still left there for me, because my hope is that we can get back into full alignment. So lean into conflict in safe ways with some fire and some heat, but lean harder into the true repair process. Lastly, number 10, tips for a happier, healthier relationship. Remind yourself that life isn't that serious and have more fun together. God, a lot of the relationship work is really serious work. And I think there's a purpose to that. I think there's a reason for that, in that our relationships as adults are almost identical to the relationships we have as children. So the things that we were looking for as children, we're still looking for as adults. And that can feel very serious in our system, right? Which is where a lot of our struggles come from. And in a lot of ways, we actually do need what it is that we were missing, right? We heal through relationship. And so this is just a reminder that no matter how much work you do, there are a lot of opportunities for you and your partner to have fun, to remind yourself that life is just trying to be so serious. And that's a really difficult way to live. So can we have more fun, more laughs, more excitement, more joy, more happy, more banter, right? Can we just enjoy each other's presence, right? I like you, you like me, right? Let's work off of that. Let's be best friends again. Remind yourself that life isn't that serious and have more fun together. So these are 10 tips for a happier, healthier relationship. Again, going back to what I said at the beginning, my challenge to you is to pick 1, 2, max 3 and put them into effect immediately. Put them into effect for the remainder of the week. Put them into effect today. You can definitely hug longer and kiss a little deeper today. You can definitely pay more attention to a smaller moment today. You can definitely start building a healthier relationship between you and you today. You can definitely go to your partner and say, hey, listen, I'm excited about this. I'd love to make weekly date night a non-negotiable. I think it's really going to be helpful for our relationship. And I want to make sure we're spending time together no matter how busy we get. Let's make this a non-negotiable. What do you say? Whew. They're going to say yes, right? So again, these are all applicable. Pick 1, 2, or 3 at most, put them into effect now, and stay consistent with them for the next couple of weeks, right? Hold yourself accountable, put them in your calendar. Schedule things for yourself. Show me your calendar and I'll show you what's important to you. Put these things into your calendar, challenge yourself to invest energy, time, and effort into sustaining and building a thriving relationship, and just watch your results, right? Where your attention goes, energy flows. So if you're intending on creating closeness, then there you go. Energy will go towards closeness. Your partner will feel that. These are the things to help focus us on the reality of our relationship and what it could really possibly be. And a lot of these, actually all of these, have helped my relationship immensely. I hope this was valuable for you. It was valuable for me to reflect on and all the great ways Gabby and I have worked on our relationship together and what we've been able to create. And so my hope is that extends to you. So again, put these into effect immediately. Try them out. Pick and pull as you go. Find what works for you. Shift them in ways that work best, right? Keep growing both as individuals and couples. Maybe right now it's not a growth season. You need to take the next couple of weeks to just sustain. Great, do that, right? But then from there, get back into gear, right? Figure out a way that growth works best for both of you. That's all for today. If you like this episode, honestly, thanks for listening, right? We're at about 50 downloads right now, which is incredible. I love you all so much for being a part of this journey. There's so much more coming. If you want to have more access to content every day, you can go to my Instagram or my TikTok. I post pretty religiously on there at the relationship coach _. Go check that out. You can just search up my name too, Atlas Mecca, and it should just come up. I also have a YouTube channel, again, at the relationship coach _ or Atlas Mecca. If you're looking for this work in a more intentional way, I'm a relationship coach. I would love nothing more than to be a part of your relationship journey and help you actually put these things into practice in a more accountable way and in a more self-sustaining and efficient way. So if this is something you're looking for, please reach out. I would love to be involved and I would love to be of service in any way that I can. Regardless, thanks for being here. Make sure to subscribe, like this podcast, share it with your friends. Let me know what you thought. I mean, I'm putting this out there into the ether. I hope it's valuable for you. I would love to hear your thoughts and what you would like to learn about next and how you would love to see this podcast grow. This is a journey together. Thanks for joining. I appreciate you. I'll see you in the next episode.